We did it with B Justice, Emmett, everybody. We just don't be recording or before we started.
Just too in the moment. I be the same way. That's my problem.
Never fails.
Oh, these cookies in the moment. I'm about to. You sure, Devin, you don't want these cookies?
I mean, they might last a while. They last a few weeks. I'll take them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They do last a few weeks, especially if you put them in the freezer.
Look at God.
Yeah.
Yeah, my granola bars will last a year in the freezer.
Granola bars too. Oh yeah, we definitely gonna talk about all that.
Yeah. Those cookies were for the culture.
Shay.
For sure. Well, Tru, I know you checked out an episode or two, so you probably got a feel for how this works. So that's how it goes. It's not really planned. We just kind of go with the flow. I do like to ask anything you absolutely do want to talk about or absolutely don't want to talk about.
Okay.
Is there anything you do have you want to talk about that we should talk about?
Oh, I got a project coming up.
Okay.
All right. For sure. Anything you absolutely don't want to talk about?
Everybody, I'm be open book to hit that one little spot. You be like, we can say anything. And then we hit that one spot. You be like, no, I want to say that.
Nobody has had an answer for that question yet. So
yeah, it's just like I don't know until I get asked it. I guess I don't know.
I'm gonna have our intern start doing some more research and start digging deep. Like, I want you guys to dig deep and find the most worst thing ever, so we can bring it up.
We're getting a Nardwuar bag.
Right. Right, exactly.
Oh man.
No, that's what's up.
All right, well, cool. We go with the flow. We'll jump into it and we'll roll. So see what we.
Oh, real quick. Oh, you listen. You already said you listened to the show, but we haven't posted anything since we named the new topic Vibe Talk, right?
No.
Well, besides Emmett,
because we did that with Be Justice. So no.
Be Justice. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So the next one it'll be in there.
Yeah. So Vibe Talk, we play the song as we just did. And then we kind of talk about the song and stuff like that. So we just Devin finally named the segment. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. A lot
of my favorite segment.
Talking going on around here. So.
We already started that.
Tingly vibes.
You're a dog. You are a dog.
All right.
That's what I would say. You are a dog for real.
All right. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Share the Vibes Podcast. I am your host, Jink the DJ, founder CEO of Share the Vibes LLC. Oh man, pre-production was fun today. We'll just say that. So, glad to have you with us. Happy here with another artist who will be performing at Share the Vibes Fest 2023. Tru West. So glad to have you in the building with us. So we're getting ready for an exciting conversation today with you. Before we do that, as always, got to kick things off with our co-host and the owner of Audio Moguls Media Podcast Network, which we are a proud member of. Mwanje, how you doing?
Good, man. Trying to keep my lungs fresh, since we got this Canadian smoke over here in Milwaukee. It's crazy. It's mad crazy. Yesterday it was super foggy. It kind of cleared up just a little bit, but you can still smell the burnt wood in the air. So, I really want to know what the repercussions of this will be down the line.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if people in the next couple of years will have asthma or some type of I don't know about y'all, but I watched The Walking Dead. So that's the first thing that came to my mind, where the virus was airborne and everybody got it. So, but that's just my little conspiracy mind. But yeah, man. So just staying clear, staying in the buildings, wear my mask when I go outside, or try to at least. And but yeah, other than that though, man, good. Can't complain.
Stay safe up there for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know. Fear canceled their run yesterday.
Yeah,
and they don't cancel too many runs. So yeah, y'all be safe up there. Yeah, we haven't.
Yeah, so you're not experiencing any fog.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty clear down here in Charlotte. Granted, I haven't been out much yesterday, but yeah, looks good out there right now. So we gonna pray it stays that way. Absolutely.
Sound for you,
man. So let's get into it. So excited to have Tru West with us today. We got dropping some sirens, air horns in here.
I got some.
Hold on. We're going to run back. Yeah, we got Tru West in the building. Tru West in the building.
Did that scare you? Was that loud? I think it was loud. It was really loud. My bad.
We gonna figure out our whole sound effect situation.
Oh yeah, but just let me know what bank. I put some banks on here because I sure could have went over to it.
Yeah, so Tru, how are you doing?
Man, I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I did. I don't know. I did some meditation or before I got here, so I'm feeling really good. You know, just trying not to be distracted by the fog and let my conspiracy mind and my intuition get to me too much.
Not like me.
But no, for real. So, but other than that, I feel good. I'm excited.
Good.
Excited to be on here.
Absolutely, we're glad to have you. So
Yeah.
So Tru, I like to try to give origin stories of how I got connected with people, which I think we may have spoken for the first time within the last 2 or 3 weeks actually, but I was familiar with you before that, but I forgot I was. So we, I think you popped up recently on Juice Talk TV with Bob, Go Mike. I've been watching those. Shout out to Juice Talk. I got to meet Juice because that's been a dope little series
combos
there. But I saw it. I was like, oh, that's right, Tru West. I need to holler her about the festival. I heard Bop, and Bop is a bop. We're going to play Bop later. I'm just letting you know. That's going to be part of our talk today. And then ironically, I think it may have been about 3 or 4 days ago. Maybe a little bit long. One day last week, my wife does her own nails. And she made a reel highlighting her nails. I'm listening to the song like, wait a minute. That's Bop, my Tru West. And like I don't even know if we had talked about you being on the festival yet. So that was pure irony. Like that wasn't planned. That wasn't like a marketing employee. I literally was leaning over the island in the kitchen, like, oh, that's Bop by Tru West. Let me send this to her. So that was super dope.
That was such a pleasant surprise. I'm like, oh my God, I had to follow her and share her.
That's love. Cool. So glad to have you. So thinking back to, I think my introduction to you may have been tequila. And I know that Tru has a song called Tequila, guys. It wasn't us drinking tequila. She has a song called Tequila. Listen to it. But I was going through my Beyond the Borders playlist. I got a bunch of playlists on my phone. And I was scrolling. I was like, oh, I got tequila in here. Let me see what this was again. And I heard, it's coming back to me now. And then on Sunday, I was driving back from Atlanta, and I was listening to some of your projects. And I was listening to Gift of Gab Volume 2. And I heard Constellations come on. Yes, and I think I heard Constellations before too. So I said, okay. So I did hear Tru West. I just hadn't listened to her in a while. We never really connected. But I was already following your page, of course. So it's just funny how things come full circle like that. So I guess you can say I've been following you a little while. But glad to finally put a face to a name and meet you and get to learn a little bit more about you. So let's just start with that. Just tell us about you. Who's Tru West?
Yes.
Tru West, a spiritual being, otherworldly thing.
Would you have a song?
Yes, I do have a song called Otherworldly. Yes. Who am I? I'm born and raised here. And can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
I
feel
feel like I'm talking real soft. I was born and raised here. I just love creating in every way of the sense. I actually kind of psyched myself out from actually being an artist for a long time. I didn't think that I was going to commit to doing it. I thought that after I became like a famous writer and had my own talk show I was going to have like some music on the side. I didn't think that music would be like the forefront because of how shy I actually am.
No, that's real though. So I got this thing on Facebook, like I make posts, and then like every year they pop in my memory, so I do like yearly reminder. So I got to put these in a book one day. But a couple years ago, I was doing like this Murph challenge training, and one day I had to run, was it like 10 200-meter sprints or something like that. So it's like early in the morning. I'm out there doing this, running in the street, running these 200-meter sprints. And beforehand, I was like, I really don't want to do this. And I got maybe like number 3. I was like, I'm not really feeling this. But afterwards, I finished. I was all right. I did that. And the thought came to my head, and I put it in my notes. It's sometimes you have to talk yourself out of talking yourself out.
Oh, yes.
That's good. That's good. I did that one. Yeah, but sometimes you have to talk yourself out of talking yourself out. So even with Share the Vibes, like there's been a lot going on in life over this last year. You don't know, we got married last July. We moved here to Charlotte in October. We built the house that we moved into, so that's a whole nother thing in itself.
Oh, amazing. Congrats.
The first Share the Vibes Fest was last summer while all that was going on. So there was just a lot going on last year. And as you get caught up in life, you know, I work a job too, and I got kids, all this stuff. Like, it's easy to be like, hey, man, do I really need to be doing that? And imposter syndrome start to kick in, and you wonder if you're really operating in your calling and your purpose and all that. But every now and then we need a reminder. So I'm glad you talked yourself out of talking yourself out. Yeah. And continue to create dope vibes so we can be here today. So shout out to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's talk about your music journey. Like, where did it start? When did you know you had this thing of being able to sing, being able to create music? Like, when did you know you had it?
Funny thing, I always knew I could sing.
Okay.
Everybody in my family can do something musically. I didn't think when I was a kid, I didn't think I was the strongest singer. I knew I had a voice. I knew, you know, I could sing and stuff like that, but I felt like my other family members were stronger than, you know, what I had going on, and my voice was different. Okay. You know, I always had a very different voice. But I just always had this feeling, and I always kind of was a performer. Like, anytime my mama took me to the store and it was mirrors there, I was going to get down. I was going to perform. And so there's always been that, but I always was very strong on mental health, and I've always been a spiritual person as a child, and that like led me to like thinking that I was supposed to be a therapist.
Okay.
And so I was always good at writing and things like that. My dad actually was a music producer, and he used to produce for my sister, and me and my sister used to try to like make songs together and stuff like that, but I just thought that I couldn't write songs. So I kind of just psyched myself out. We could really be in the like Chloe and Haley Bailey.
Okay.
Yeah, we really could have been
dope.
But I was scared. And I was scared, and my sister was like, she scared me too. So I was just like, yeah, no, you got that. You got it. And then once I got older, I actually went to Marquette High School of the Arts.
Okay.
So finessed my way into the school because I actually didn't have a high school to go to. And I was there for my sister's audition. And I learned things by ear. And so I learned her whole audition piece by ear. And I could audition for anything, literally, but I was too lazy. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm hearing this line right now. I might as well audition. My mom was like, you gonna audition? I was like, yeah. So I went in there, and I literally, off of memory of hearing my sister sing the song, I sang the song.
Wow.
And the Mr. Roberts, he was just like, 2 things. 1, you're in. 2, do you have a twin? And I was just like, no, that's my sister. And he was like, your voices are amazing. They're angelic, da-da-da. And so, of course, I got in. But, of course, like the imposter syndrome throughout high school, throughout my whole high school career, I'd like dealt with imposter syndrome. So I just was like, you know, I just kind of like left it alone. It wasn't until after college, and I dropped out of college. And after that, I was in fashion a lot. I was going to triple major in college for psychology, fashion, and music.
Oh, that's a combo.
I mean,
too lazy. So I just did.
Crazy.
So I just did psychology, but I couldn't afford it, so had to drop out. And so I had a best friend at the time, and I would always go to her fashion shows, and I was a makeup assistant or a fashion assistant at one of the things. I think this was 2014. I kept running into like people that were in the music scene. And I was a fashion assistant in this fashion show for Steve White. And one of the models dropped out, and the designer was like, yeah, you gonna have to model. I was like, no. I was like, no, I'm not a model. And she was like, yes, Gabby, you're gonna have to do it. My name is Gabby, by the way.
Gotcha.
Okay.
My full name, Gabriella.
Well, who's Gabby?
True comes from my middle name, which is Trulicia.
Okay, got it.
I have a princess name.
Is your last name West?
Yes, okay. My last name is West, like Kanye. That's my cousin. Anyway. But yeah, so I ended up caving in. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll be a model. And in the back, I literally was humming to myself and singing. And they're like, who's that singing? Who is this? And they heard me, and they came up to me. They were like, was that just you? I was like, yeah, that was me. And I was like, you should sing. What are you doing? You should.
Right.
I was like, no.
What are you doing here walking
I was like, no,
on
no.
stage?
And then I met Dave Flywalker, and he was the first person to like tell me, hey, you should come to my studio. You should da da da. And I was just like, no. But it wasn't until I was working at Applebee's and I was singing my heart out early in the morning, mopping the floors. And one of the servers, his name is P80, and he produces for pretty sure he still produces for like a lot of artists right now, local artists. But we worked together, and he was just like, listen, I hear you sing every morning. Mariah Carey, I hear it every time. You're hitting those high notes. I'm a producer. Come to my studio. You'll be safe. It's okay. He was like, just come. He was like, you can just sing, come with a song prepared. Just sing whatever, your heart desires, and, just see if you like it. I came there with a song prepared. I was so nervous. It was Whitney Houston, my fairy godmother. I sang that song. I think it was I Have Nothing. I sang that. It was like, wow, you got an amazing.
That's not an easy song.
Yeah, nope. And I sang that, and he was like, yeah, if you could just come back next week, let's work on something. And I came, and I met some other artists there, and they were all freestyling. And funny secret about me, I love freestyling. Me and my best friend used to like really pull up on people, and like we would like smoke with them, and like we'll put on like a Jay-Z or a Tyga beat and be like, yeah, spit something. And then like we'll start battle rapping.
That's funny.
So when they started rapping, I started freestyling singing. And then so they were like, wait, you just made that up? I was like, yeah. They was like, oh, we laying that down. We recording that. And that was my first song.
Wow.
What was the name of that song?
That song was, what was that? I think that was Trouble. These are like all my first songs never been out. So like, I have like probably 10 songs that never been released. Okay. So, but I think that was Trouble. It was called Trouble.
Do you plan to release those one day?
Probably never.
Probably.
However, there is one song that I've heard recently, and it literally brought tears to my eyes because I was like, dang, I haven't heard it in 10 years. And it was like the third song I ever recorded with my brother Chaos. He was the first person I ever made a song with, who also was featured on my first ever EP, Gift of Gab, Anticipation Chaos. So we have a song together called Different, and I really love that song, and hearing it again recently was like, wow, like I would put this song out. So yeah, but that probably would be the only song I'd ever put out. Yeah.
I want to go back to the imposter syndrome. You kind of talked about it a little bit, and maybe even gave me the answer, but I just want to dive a little bit deeper into that because obviously you're talented, and you see that with a lot of artists that they're kind of shy and just don't want to put the music out. So where exactly, if you will mind pulling it, but where exactly do you think that comes from? I know you said you're full of singers in your family or musicians in your family, and you said that though they are better than you. Is that just it, or is there more to it? Like, were you afraid that if you were to put the music out, people wouldn't receive it, or like what was it exactly?
I always innately knew as a child that I wanted to inspire other people. And I always said if I ever put out music that I wanted to make inspirational music. I grew up in church, and I didn't want to make gospel music. Like I wanted to make music that could reach people that weren't in church. And so, And so I kind of felt like, do you mean like in general my imposter syndrome or like, so yeah, I think that a lot of it dealt with like not I believed in myself, but not getting enough support from my family growing up.
Okay.
So like I wanted to be an actress and everything like that. And I would literally book my own acting auditions and my mom would take me to church instead of my auditions. So I just
you gonna act up there on this in this pulpit.
So like it was stuff like that would happen in my life to where it made me feel like, okay, maybe, it shouldn't be this, or maybe I'm not this, or I would have opportunities and I feel like I would blow it. And so I'm like, maybe I'm not who I think I am. So it would be stuff like that. And I think that it's like the negative self-talk, or just being in an environment that doesn't really encourage you to grow and to blossom.
That could do it, because we're all seeds. We need to be watered, and we're not being watered properly. We're not going to grow properly. But just like, the concrete rose, it's going to find its way.
It's always going to
find its way. It's going to find that little glimmer of sunlight to blossom. So that's interesting to hear that, because I know a lot of artists probably feel the same way, where you're different in your family, but your family has this goal for you themselves, and it's like, no, it's not what I want.
That's not what I want.
I want to act, sing, be a therapist. I want to.
I want to heal. I want to heal people.
Yeah, that's what came to my mind when you mentioned you thought you were meant to be a therapist, and one might argue that you're still doing that, just in a different way.
Yeah, literally, quite literally.
Music is an escape for a lot of people. Like, a lot of times I play certain songs when I'm in certain situations or certain moods to get my mind right. Even fashion, like, that's the way we express ourselves and communicate what we're going through. So I know, like, retail therapy, that's a real thing. So like fashion and music, and I'm glad you mentioned you wanted to be an actress, because I was going to ask you, do you do any acting? Because that's all over you.
Yeah, he said it's all over you.
What gave it away?
She's like, no, it was me. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, bad.
That's what's
now,
up.
are you actively acting today?
Actively, I've been working towards it. I might have an acting opportunity, which fingers crossed that I get it. Because it's a type of role that I've always wanted to be in. So fingers crossed that I get it, but not actively. I'm definitely looking. So if you know something happening and you think that I'd be a good fit, you send it my way.
Okay. Hey, if something come my way, I definitely will. I feel like it's always stuff up in Milwaukee, though. Like, the art scene is so crazy there. So that leads me to another question then. So it's not acting, but have you done any, like, soundtrack work or scoring, things along those lines?
Actually, yes. Which another thing might be in the works. I ain't gonna talk too much about. I recently, earlier this year, my homie Tyree Pope, he's an amazing videographer, photographer, and he also has you know who I'm talking about? He also has a comic book, Fair Fight Comics, and they recently did the showing of it being released. So they had like this release showing at the Oriental Theater. Okay. And my song Constellations was in the credits.
Oh wow, that's dope.
So I was like, oh my God.
Did you know, or?
Yeah, he let me know in advance. Like, so I've been waiting. I'm like, hey, when is it coming out? Because it's been like secret, so no one knew about it. But he sent it to me. As soon as he decided to have it in the back, he was like, yeah, it's only right. Like, it makes sense. And I'm like, thank you. So like that was cool. And then, Perspective. Actually, what you were playing, that actually is at the end of the Heartland film, filmed by Marquise Mays. Wow, yep. So that was beautiful because it was about the city, and my project was about the city, so it just went hand in hand perfectly. So that was cool. And Ashe, the poem from the Ashes We Rise, that was in a local commercial. So that was cool. Oh, you got some credits. Yeah. What are you talking about here? You got some credits. Ain't playing. Oh yeah. I'm curious. Going back to, you said you went to Milwaukee High School of the Arts. What was? Because I went to Riverside. So. Oh, well, like I said. All right, interview over. The mute your mic. What are you doing? No, I'm just playing. But I'm 32 years old, talking about some high school still. I don't know why. Like, why we still do this? So Milwaukee High School of the Arts, so from my understanding, do you have to pick your major and you just stay in that major, or are you able to dabble in different things? To dabble. Okay, good. You're able to dabble in different things. Okay. But like I said, I was very quite lazy. So like I wanted to double major, but I chose not to. Gotcha. Okay. I've seen a lot of people do it, and I'd be like, oh. but then wouldn't do it. So I was just like, you're a doubling major. That's so cool. But
that's interesting. Okay, cool.
Never did it though.
Yeah, okay. Because I was wondering, like, did you have to like have your main focus, or could you be in like theater and then in being choir or whatever the case?
So there was definitely people who did theater, and then they would do theater dance. Or they would do choir and then they would do theater, or they would do choir and dance. So like they would double major, or choir and orchestra, choir and jazz.
Yeah.
So it was like you could mix and match however you felt the need to.
Gotcha. So did y'all even have your core subjects at?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm just making sure, because I just feel like Milwaukee High School of Arts was Glee. Like, y'all just all y'all did was sing and dance in the hallway.
I wish it was. You know, I honestly.
That's just me. I'm hating a little bit.
A little, and that's why I did the because I knew it was coming up. I sensed
you even learn at that school.
I sensed it, but but actually, I was a little jealous of some of my Riverside friends because they got like certain stuff that I didn't get. Like they had like certain like classes that we didn't have, like different foreign languages, and it was a lot of different stuff
academics.
Like that. Yeah, it was certain type of academics that we didn't have that I wanted, like the nerd in me wanted, but
we had a pool.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Our pool was empty, but anyway.
My bad, Devin. Next question. You know, we'll come from Riverside.
That's why I knew
it's always a great day to be a Tiger.
I knew it was gonna come. That's why I did the because y'all be shading arts kids for what? Like
no. My interns, they're not here today, but they're from Milwaukee High School of Arts, and so yeah, so it'd been dope to have them here because you graduated. They can see alumni. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it helps to see people who walked the paths you've been, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fun. It's funny.
One of my students, she's a dance major.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's.
Oh wait, they're there. Like
they're there like now. Like well,
that's amazing.
Now, summer,
Juniors, right?
One is a junior and one is a sophomore. I want to say, yeah.
Okay. That is beautiful.
Might both be juniors.
That's beautiful. That's very beautiful.
We're gonna try to get them at the festival.
Kudos to you for doing something like that, because that's like amazing for them to have that on the resume in high school. That's
you know, they need a Riverside mentor.
Yeah. So. There we go. It's showing again.
Oh man. So Tru. So we talked about you're a creator. Yeah, my mind has got a few different things I'm kind of interested in. But as a creator, and I can tell just from your IG page, even the conversation today, you're very spiritual, kind of energy driven. So I want to get into your creative process. Let's start musically. So as you're creating music, what's your process for creating that art? Do you start with the music first and put the words to it, and the words come to your mind, and you find a beat that goes with it? Do you just feel the energy today, and I don't know, the boom path magic? How do you get that?
You know what's crazy? It's actually like a maniac, and it's hard to describe. I was actually in a session like a week ago, and they were like, your creative process is wild. And I'm like, I'm sorry. But listening to Emmett James, y'all interview with him, it's very similar, because I know y'all asked him that's the same thing. It's kind of similar to that. A lot of times, I think my favorite way to create is right there with the producer. That's what that's my introduction to making music. The producer would make the beat right there. And that is what inspired me to make the music that I make now. Was 80 would cook up the beats, crazy beats right then and there, and then it would inspire me to pull it out. And I don't know how he did that, but that's inspiration. When I can lock in with the producer and they can go off the energy and they can make something, and we making it right then and there, that's fire to me. That's like, woo. That's that, that
tingle,
that sprinkly stuff. But a lot of times my stuff comes from the cosmos, right? So like it'll come down, it'll be a download, and it'll just come to me, like how we were talking earlier. Switch Up came with just "On Ya." That's all I kept hearing in my head. On ya, on ya, on ya. I'm on a bus on the way to work. And that's all I hear. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, what? On what? So that's how the words started. So a lot of stuff, I think Mariah Carey said, like, what did she say? It was something like she came up with this word, but basically it's melodically driven when it comes to writing songs. So it has usually the base of my writing it's a melody. I'm hearing sounds in my head, and then they come out as words, or they just come out as sounds, and then I come up with words that rhyme with the sounds. That's usually how it works for me. Like if I'm listening to a song and I like it, but I don't got words yet, I'm just gonna freestyle, and whatever come out, and then I'll just make words around it. And that's usually how it goes. But a lot of my songs I would write before I even touch a beat or even hear a beat.
It's interesting because, I think the Lil Waynes and the Jay-Z's are like that. I forgot what interview I just listened to where they'll play a beat and then Jay-Z go in this little corner and he be, humming the word. And then next thing you know, he'll be like, I'm ready. And then get in the booth and be like, when the Henny's in the system, I'm like, huh?
That's me.
and then they notorious for not touching or writing per se, but it's like, and I'm starting to understand, like, okay, so you just kind of find the cadence, the melody, and then you'll put words to it once you do that. So that's interesting. That's interesting.
It's really big. I'm really big on cadence and melody because the word's gonna come regardless. Yeah. But the thing that people really get pulled in is at the end of the day, it's the music, right? It's the sound. So you could say literally, I went down the street and wiggling at my feet, got him, beat. But because you said it the way you said it on the beat, that's why I'm like, I went down the street moving my feet. So like that's what it's like. That's what pulls people in. It's like, ooh. Even if a song is super annoying, you can't stand a song, but somehow you can't stop singing it. It's the melody, it's the cadence, it's how they put the music together.
I did not want to like Cha Cha by Drum when it came out. I did not.
You like Cha Cha? Oh, wow.
I did not like
jam.
When it first came out, I was like, I don't want to like this song. And then like a week or two later, I was hooked, and I'm still hooked to this day.
Man.
And Drum
that was
is very underrated, by the way. Shout out to Drum. Drum is very underrated.
Drum is very underrated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But like when that song came out, but it's like,
yep. Same with Broccoli.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Broccoli. Yeah.
Broccoli.
Yeah, Broccoli was good too.
That's what actually introduced me to Lil Yachty, and look at him now.
Yep.
Yachty's killing it.
Ah man, that's crazy. Okay, so you hear some Cosmos get downloaded, hit your mind. However we want to describe that, and then you put the music around that, and then the words comes through it and everything, and that's how we get what you give us. Now, do you do your own production in addition to working with producers?
Okay, upon disclaimer, imposter syndrome once again. So I have produced before, but I have not consistently produced. So no and yes, but I don't have any songs out that I've produced yet. I've got songs that I produce. It's just like, nope. Not gonna share it. Not gonna share it.
And another question I had, because I'm sure Mwonje's wheels are turning right now, because Mwonje produces music as well. Did you ever play any instruments, or do you play any instruments?
That was my question. We've been doing this.
So funny thing. I used to play the violin when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my dad threw it away.
Oh, wow.
Because it sounded so bad.
Oh, dang. Aw.
Dang. That's crazy.
So, dang, like, that, yeah. So, like, I can play the drums a little bit and I could play the piano a little bit, but that's about it.
Okay. And what put that question in my mind was earlier you said when you went to the school with your sister for the audition and you learned the piece by ear. That sounded like a musician talk. My mind went to like reading music, which I know as singers you read music as well. But my mind went to like sight reading and playing a piece because I was in a band growing up, so I get that.
So I can sight read. So I can sight read. I can like learn by ear and play by ear. I do play the bass. I've recently picked it up over the past year. I think that the best way for me to learn is playing it by ear, and I'm learning that because I be letting my baby, I call her Blue Jay, I be letting her sit there and catch cobwebs because I don't be like knowing what to play. But when I listen to certain songs, if I'm like playing around, like I can kind of catch the tone a little bit, playing along with the song. So like I just think that I just need to do some more stuff like that, because I think that's how Taylor Swift learned how to play the guitar. So I'm like, I think that I can learn like that too. I think that that's the best way for me. I think I'm just a different type of learner, and I think I'm the normal way of teaching me ain't gonna work. I gotta like play songs and then do it like that. But I do have a song that I made on my bass.
Okay.
It's cute.
I'm curious as to who inspires you when it comes to music. I know for me, and that just popped up maybe a couple of days ago. So like early YouTube, Ryan Leslie. Ryan Leslie, I don't know if y'all remember, but he used to do these videos of him producing songs in the studio. So he would be on the keyboard, and he'd be so animated. He'd be doing it like this, and then it'll cut, and it'll go to him playing the trumpet. I'm like, I want to do that. That's what I want. And then the Dream was the same way. He used to do it too. And he would just, he would, Masego does that now. Like you'll see him do that. And I'm like, I want to do that. So who inspires you when you need that inspiration, or just somebody that you listen to? It could be local or, somebody, a national artist, what have you. Like, what gives you that thing? Like, I want to do that today.
Ooh, that's a hard question, because like I be like getting inspired by a lot of different artists, but I want to say as of recently, and I haven't really watched a video of his creative process, but as of recently, I would have to say like I've been like really in like a Frank Ocean like vibe, and so like any type of artist that fits within that kind of has been like where I'd be like, ooh, because like I've just been in this vibe of like wanting to make beautiful music, like music that you can really feel. And I would say, another person like Lucky Day is another good example. Good, as far as women, let me think.
Are you like a Ari Lennox?
I love
Summer Walker.
I love Ari Lennox. I love Summer Walker. I love SZA. I can say, you know what? I've been listening to Doechii a lot lately, and like she's very versatile.
Yeah.
Like she can sing and she can rap, and like her words and stuff like that. Like, I've been listening to her a lot lately. And there's this artist named Ray. She's like from the UK or whatever, but I've been listening to her a lot recently because like her visuals are really good.
Ray.
Her visuals are really good, and her songs are really good. I'd be like, okay, I like that. But a artist like what you're talking about, the only person I can really think of is Tanka and the Bangas. I love her.
That's dope. Yeah.
If you wanna get inside of me,
that's it right there. Now. You know a little something.
Right. If we gon' go deeper.
Come on.
What's her name? Sid. Is it Sid? Sid in the internet?
Yes, I love them too.
Yeah,
you know who? Steve Lacy. He like plays instruments too,
okay,
right?
yeah, dog. Yep.
Who else? I'm trying to think of like an artist that like plays instruments, and Durant, but I don't know if he plays instruments, but Duran Bernard.
Oh, that dude cold.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
if I
cold.
could just meet him in the flesh one day,
Oh.
I would have a blast. I love that man.
That's one of them dudes that you just scrunch your face up and be like, how do you go here? Like,
how do you do it?
Yeah, he cold. He cold.
I don't know if he plays any instruments though.
That
but
voice,
I feel like he does. No, he uses, and that's what I mean. Like he uses his voice as the instrument, and he goes and he just lets it all out, and he has so much fun. Like he just be silly with it, and it be on point every time, and I'd be like,
Yeah, I saw his NPR joint. His NPR was crazy,
breathtaking.
You cold, bro.
Yeah, he's a ball of energy for sure.
Yes, exactly, I love it. Exactly. I love every inch of it. I love it.
He's dope. He's dope for sure. Yeah, definitely a talent. When you were talking, phony people came to my mind too.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah,
I heard the phony people.
Phony people. You gotta listen to their Mosaic album is really good. And then they had what's it called? Euphonious, something like that. They dropped a year or two ago. But my favorite song by Phony People is "Before I Get a Girlfriend." Before you get a boyfriend.
Yes. Before I get a girlfriend.
Yeah, it's before you get a boyfriend. That's what it is. Yep.
Boyfriend is before you get a boyfriend, girl.
Before you get a boyfriend, girl.
Friend, girl.
I'll check them out.
Yes.
Sound good.
Yeah.
And Dixon makes good music
Dixon's
too.
hard too. Dixon had that
Heaven
song,
with You is amazing.
What's that? Dixon and Seven, Cherry Sorbet. Last year was that Dixon? Am I mixing up artists?
Cherry Sorbet sounds fire.
Oh, it's fire. Let me make
As
sure.
I'm looking at these cookies. Oh, y'all talking about music. My bad. I just playing.
Yeah, it's different. So
I'm just
Dixon featuring Seven, or I guess 7th Street goes by 7 sometimes. Not
He has a song with. I love 7th Streeter.
Cherry,
7th Street
Cherry
I
Sorbet.
love.
Cherry
Okay,
Sorbet.
Right.
hold up, because 7th Streeter. Listen,
She can write.
I love that woman.
Yeah. She cold.
Well, you gonna love that.
And she's another underrated person, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is. She definitely is. Cool. So you pull from. I see you pull from a lot. You listen.
I pull from a lot, yeah.
You're eclectic. You have different sounds and things like that. How would you say? And maybe I already know the answer to this, but how would you describe the music of today? Are you inspired? Because a lot of people say like the music of today. For instance, I've been listening. Let's take hip hop for example. They say hip hop hasn't got a #1 all this year, and hip hop is supposed to be the #1 genre this year. So how do you feel about the music of today? I know you named some great artists, but are you kind of like when you turn the radio on? If you turn the radio on,
I don't.
You don't. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But like when your iTunes or your Spotify and you just let it play, like are you, just not disgusted, but are you kind of like this is whack?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
very much so. Like I feel like as far as like music, there's a lot of great artists, right? Especially when it's not like when it's more like singing and stuff like that. There's been definitely a nice wave of like this funk soul vibe that's been really good.
Yeah.
Just really like a lot of artists making really beautiful music. I feel like with hip hop, it's been hard for them to reach the heights of the other artists that have made like really amazing music.
That's true.
So it's like,
True.
unless we're talking about like local people or, a more underground people. But personally, I haven't met, and I love rap. Like, I haven't seen like another Kendrick Lamar yet.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It feels like a lot of the stuff that has been coming out is more like niche led than music led, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's targeted towards a specific audience.
A specific audience, a specific aesthetic, a specific vibe, but it's not genuinely authentic rap stuff. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. Because listen, I don't know how. Going back to what you said, like the music is music, and when you listen to something, you might catch it. I don't know how. Every time I hear the word "out of town," I talked about this last. I'm like in your rounds, and I'm just like, I was talking to Dooch, texting Dooch earlier, and he was like, "Man, I'm out of town." I'm like, "Oh, you thugging in your rounds, huh?" And I'm just like.
I didn't even want to say that.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to say that.
Go with it. And I'm just like, this girl is getting in my head, man. Dang.
Yeah, it's like people, I feel like music is just, they find what is quotable. Everything is a quotable now. Everything is made for quotable stuff or hashtags or, memes and viral stuff. Stuff is made to go viral. It's not made to be long lasting.
Yeah, and to your point, a lot of the artists who focus on that don't really get that push. Like you think about the Deontay Hitchcocks, the JID Grant. He's with Dreamville.
I love Jid.
You got Jid. No Reason with TDE.
Yes.
I like Nick Grant personally. Sean Smith just dropped the project I need to listen to. Like there's some dope artists.
Who's
out
Nick
there.
Grant?
Nick Grant. He he might be independent. So the album that really put me on to him was Living Out Our Dreams, or Dreaming Out Loud. I think his name of the album, Dreaming Out Loud. That dropped, I want to say 2018 maybe. But he's on a song with Freddie Gibbs. I Am Nobody.
I like Freddie Gibbs too.
Yeah, he's another one. I Am Nobody. I want to say Van Jess might be on that song. Freddie Gibbs, Jay Grant, but it's called Heaven. And it is
Can you send that to me?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'm forgetting the song that it samples. But it's How do we get out of we're running? I'm in heaven so far from home. Don't worry for me, just make your own.
But you see, but that sounds fire, by the way. But you hear that melody though.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, you know, it's a melody there. There's, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I feel like there's not enough of like rap being pushed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's definitely a lot of great rappers that are lyricists, that are storytellers, that, you know what I'm saying, that can really go, you know, do a full song or do a song with a melody on it. They're not being pushed.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you gotta kind of gotta go overseas or across the pond and listen to those artists, because a lot of them, even though you probably don't understand, I follow this page on Instagram. I've got the guy's name, but he'll just like, he has different segments of like R&B song you should be listening to at night, or what you should be listening to on the run. You know what I'm talking about? And no, he'll do like one segment was like some R&B songs where it's in different languages, and like you'll hear like you see this Japanese artist or this Asian artist, and they'll be doing R&B. I have no idea what the words are, but it sounds amazing. Or this French artist and it sounds good. But that's why lately I've just been into like Afro beats, because of just the connection to home, but also it's like there's a genuineness
We'll go with
genuineness to it, and it's just like, okay, in the next 5 to 10 years, that would be the number one genre, if it is not already.
I said this like 4 years ago.
Yeah, that would be the number one genre of across the world, because when it comes on in clubs, comes on even in the crib, or even after the tequila, we're gonna talk about that. It just go crazy, and I get tingly.
It's because it's the frequency that they make the music in, and I knew this for some time now, and I'd be like, I want to make Afrobeat song. song. A lot of my Amine. Okay, that just made me think about Amine. K Trinata and Amine just put out a project. There's an artist that I just recently discovered. Her name is like Amarie or something like that. I was wondering if she was Afro, and she is. And because I found her page, and I was like, oh, I found you. And I followed her. And I'm like, I knew it. But she has like this interesting little sound to her, but you can still tell a little bit of that like Afro tone, but it's the way that she speaks on the song.
Yeah.
Like the way that she speaks on a song, it'd be like, I want to replay you. Like she got this like nice little flow. So and I think she sings and raps. So but she's nice. You should definitely look into her. I'm really
Amine?
into Afro. Yep.
Okay.
She's on Amine's project.
Okay. She's on Amine's
like
project.
AMARAE or
yes, it's AMAARAE.
There we go.
Yep, that's the girl's name. Another Afro artist that I've been really like sinking into the sunken place listening to is her name is Amara Daru.
Okay, I don't think I'm.
But she has this song called Pop 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 Pop. He like the way I pop pop, and I think that she's amazing. If I could compare her to anybody, she is like if she's like an Afro. She's like an Afrobeat SZA.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay.
I like resonate with her a lot. Like she reminds me of myself in a way too, because I resonate with SZA too. So it's like the way that they run, you know, their tone, the way that they run is very similar to me. And she has this song called "You're a B Word," and I love that song. But it's the way that she like flowed on the song. I'm like, dude, I could see her being featured with SZA on the song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hear stuff, like I hear things, and I'm like, dude, this would be wonderful if they would be on a song together. Like they would go crazy. But she's good too.
Dope. Dope.
Yeah, but Afro is definitely the wave. Afro is the wave.
For sure.
Yeah, you definitely
I'm
got
curious.
A&R here.
Yeah, right. You do.
I love curating music.
One of my last thoughts before, I don't know, Devin, you have any more, but I'm curious, as a woman in this industry, and I think we should talk about this. Have you ever felt pressure by any producer or anybody that you ran into to change your look, change your aesthetic, change the way you do things? And I say this because of Janelle Monáe. I love Janelle Monáe from the beginning when she was on before Tightrope, Tonight. She's the Arch Android, like from those projects. Like, and when I heard I think it was called Many Moons. When I heard that first record and I just heard this beat, and I remember being in my grandma's house and it was on TV. I'm like, this is different, and I need to know this woman. Like, and so ever since then. But now you see she was wearing the suits. The reason why she wore the suits because just paying homage to her family. Yada yada yada. Now that she is being free with this new album, there's The Age of Pleasure, and now she doing whatever she want to do. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. You go ahead, do your thing. But she's free. She's open. You see her at concerts. She lift her shirt up. But now people are saying like, go back to the suits. But then when she
was ridiculing her when she was wearing the suit.
Exactly. So it's like, how do you feel in this industry? Because I feel like there's this, even though women right now are killing it in the rap game, I feel like there's just this added pressure that men don't get that women get. So please talk about that.
I definitely agree that women definitely get a lot of added pressure, just because they think that they can just say whatever to women. And I actually have been having talk with women about women's rights and like how that's kind of just been like all these people have stuff to say and they don't have a vagina. So, but to be honest, I feel like a lot of people, I can say that there has been times where I would get boxed in a lot because a lot of my music that I have out in the past or even recently falls under R&B, but that actually was never my intention to be an R&B artist.
Interesting.
So they would always box me in. And what I've been experiencing recently is that they would literally, when I would try to like lock in with the producer, they would be like, oh yeah, I can make an R&B beat. And I'd be like, I literally didn't ask you to make that. So like it would be stuff like that where they would just think because I'm a singer that I want that. And it's like, that's not me. That's not me. And I don't want it actually.
Wow. And
so like they would just do whatever they want. And what I've experienced is just not being listened to.
Wow.
Like men in the industry don't listen to, I don't know about other women, but specifically me, I would have an idea and they'd be like, oh, change the song. Like
really?
I've been in creative spaces where I would make an idea or make a suggestion and they'd be like, oh, you think that? I'm like, yeah. Click. You know what I'm saying? And then they'd be like, oh, I thought that was a good idea. And it actually would be a good idea. Or sonically, I would say, you should do this. You should add this there. And then they would act like they don't hear me. And as soon as a man says something, they add in it ASAP.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's just like, what in the world? Or like, I remember I was out in Atlanta and I had told somebody was managing some artists and I told them, I said that they should go somewhere that his artist could like make some money like for performing. And then they were like, no, we ain't gonna go to do that. I'm like, okay. And then so when I was telling them about it again the next day, they was like, oh, I would have went to that. Why you didn't tell me that there was money involved? And I'm like, I did. I told you multiple times. And I just thought that y'all wanted to do this instead. Like I said it multiple times. Yeah. So it would be stuff like that. Like, or, I think when it comes to me personally, really being in spaces where I'm not being heard, I be in a room full of men and everybody else is being catered to but me.
Wow.
And then when they do finally cater to me, it's something that I don't want. So it'd be just like,
Interesting.
okay,
That's
yeah,
interesting.
or it seems like it's difficult. Like I'm making it difficult, or I'm making them feel like I'm making them feel like they can't do their job because of whatever. Like I'm making their job difficult because I'm asking them to make something a certain way.
Yeah.
And they're not like understanding what I'm trying to get them to make.
When you're a producer, that's customer service, because your job is to, you got to find the vibe, find the beat, but you also got to make sure the artist is comfortable on that record, or you just won't never have an artist on your record because you know, it's you. Now, certain people have passes where, you know, Pharrell give you a beat, you like, I don't care what Pharrell, what it is, it's Pharrell. But even to your point, you still should be able to tell Pharrell like, thanks for the 4 count, but I need to add this. Could you add this and add that? Especially if you paying 200.
Pharrell gonna be like, you right.
Yeah.
Or, you know, he gonna listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he has such an open mind as an artist that I can't see Pharrell not like
at least taking it in consideration
or giving it a try or something like that. But that's some struggles that I've been experiencing, is just really not being listened to as a woman, and just being so intuitive and knowing something sonically sounds good. Like when I made my project, when I produced that project, From the Ashes We Rise, I got a lot of pushback about that, you know, me not knowing what I was doing and things like that. But that
was actual verbatim. Somebody said that.
Not verbatim, but they gave off that vibe. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was
your project. She said your project. It's her project. Go tell somebody you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's been the most like, or people would. One time when I was in the studio, someone felt comfortable to embrace me by calling me a B word, thinking that I was going to be like, oh, hey, they were a man.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, don't ever address me as that ever. That was not okay, actually.
I just messed the whole vibe.
Literally. So like they just kept apologizing over and over, and I was just like, you know? So like it'd be stuff like that, like they feel comfortable to be, you know, weird or things like that, and it's just like, this is not the space, this is not the time, please stop talking right now.
I know.
That's why inclusion and representation is so important, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
And I personally feel like there needs to be more women in creative spaces. I am a big person on that, and I'm grateful that I actually been meeting a lot more artists, women that are artists, because I haven't been able to be in space with many female artists, even though I know that there are so many talented ones in the city. But I want to be able to be in more space with artists and women and create with them and collaborate with them, because I feel like we definitely understand each other. And like have a woman that is also an artist come to a session with me, so it can balance out the vibe in the room. Stuff like that is definitely what I, you know, would want to do. And maybe I'll just start curating vibes, you know, myself. And that's one of my personal endeavors that I want to embark on, because all the vibes that I've curated have been amazing, and they've always been safe spaces, and everyone is being heard and respected. So I just think that maybe because I haven't seen it, I need to be that person to curate it.
Yeah. I mean, in 2023, it should be normal but sometimes you just got to take the lead on it. And it's sad. That's unfortunate.
Well, let's get into some vibes, man. So you talked about your creative process and you being a creator, so let's get into what you have created. Let's move into vibe talk. That was weird. If it's your first time listening, Vibe Talk is our segment where we play a few vibes from the artist we're talking to. Assuming we're talking to an artist. So this case we are. So we're gonna play a few vibes. It might be off your latest project. It might be something older, wherever you kind of want to take us. We'll play a snippet of it, and then we'll let you kind of give us the backstory on it. How did it come to be, or any fun facts we should know?
Yeah. How did you create that vibe? So where you want to take us? Where are we going? Where we going? It does not matter where we going. It's where you want to go.
Well, let's visit Switch Up, because you was playing it earlier.
All right, Switch Up. Yes.
Pull up, you know that I'm with it. I know that you shook up. You wasn't there for me. Now you calling, asking me for a hookup now. I'm good on that fuck shit. And I'm not like all them other bitches. You pull off with me, you gon' end up missing. Told you my hotline bling, but you don't listen. Where were you when I was down? Look around, you know where to be found. But now that I'm on, you coming around. Ooh, get it right. You gon' make me have to switch up on you. Get it right. You gon' make me have to switch up on you. Get it right. You gon' make me have to switch up on you. Switch up on you. You gon' make me have to switch up on you. On you. Yeah, on you. On you. On you.
Yeah, so I mean, you already told us how this came about, but like, what was the recording process like when you got in the studio and you was like, "Hey, yo, I got this thing. I just follow me, just listen."
Yes.
Here, this how it was.
Yeah. I told him, literally, I love Kaylani. So I told him, this was back in 2017. I told him, I was like, I want like make a Kaylani type beat. And I kept hearing boom, boom,
Yeah, that
boom,
bass.
boom.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. And so I was like, put that in there. Put that in there. When I say doom, doom, oh, you doom, doom. So like, I told him to do it like that. And he made it so good. Like all the extra stuff around it, like it, yeah, he did his thing. Yeah.
That sounds great. It sounds super great.
Yeah, that was a vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So earlier, because I this is Gift of Gab was the one I didn't get to because it wasn't listed under like the albums. So I need to go into the singles and EPs to find that one. So I didn't get to it before the interview, but I'm definitely going to run it. But when you were saying like, no, oh yeah. I was like, okay, I'm ready. But then when I hear this, I was like, oh, switch up on you. I get it. I got it now. So
Yeah.
but it's just dope how on you is all you heard in your mind, and then somehow you ended up on the switch up, and yeah, that came together pretty dope. So good stuff there.
Yeah,
Good
it's
vibes.
pretty cool.
Yeah. And like I said, I think it was around 222. Actually, I'm gonna go right back. I think it was 220. Here.
Right there.
That's it. That's that roll. I like that was at 220s. Yeah, I was like, oh, when I heard that, I didn't play that. Like, I just went back at like 3 seconds all the time. Like, that is cold. That's one of my favorite rolls. Like, just
Thank you.
that run. Excuse me, I said rolls. Runs. Yeah. That's it. Where we going next? Where we going next? Yep.
Which is so funny. I'm actually an alto.
Really?
Yeah. Fun fact. Great Genius. Shout out to her.
shout out
Yes.
to Gray.
We used to be in my brother's choir together. That's how I first
wow.
met her. So he used to have me sing all parts. I would sing tenor. I would sing soprano wherever he needed me. But I'm actually an alto, y'all.
There it
I'm an
is.
alto.
I was an alto till I
He
wasn't.
was like, I know you can do it, sis. Just do it. And I'm like, oh my God.
I was an alto in the choir.
No,
then I hit puberty. I became a tenor. But
Oh,
Give me tenor.
that actually was my first ever lead, was singing for my brother's choir.
Really?
Yep.
yeah, Gray's
That's
performing
my
at the
first
festival
lead
this year
song.
too. Shout out to Great Genius.
Yes, shout out to Great Genius.
All right, where we going next?
Ah.
You want to take the people?
I don't know. What's y'all? I don't know.
Let's do bop. Let's do
Let's do
bop.
bop. Got
Let's
it.
do bop.
It's a fun song.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe you could stay for a minute. Hey. Be going rounds, no limit. Yeah, you be going crazy when you in it. So you may have to wait a minute. Yeah. Said he might have to spend a bag on me. Might call my homegirls just to brag on me. Said he ain't tricking if you got it. Real love's always worth the deposit. So I'ma pop it for a real one. Drop it for a real one. I'ma act a clown with the lights on. I'ma bust it down from my day one. Everybody asks where I got my glow. We've been on the hush, we've been on that low. I just hit your line when I need some more. Then I spin around, drop it to the flow. The way you put it down is how I know. You the one, baby, you the gold. Know it's meant to be. Yeah, you dope, but you're better with me. Hold it down. Tell them other girls to move around. Hold it down.
It was so hard not to sing along.
You should have. I don't see why not. You should have.
I always like watching how the artists react to that
right to their music.
Oh my god!
You was in your bag.
I was dancing, y'all. I was dancing the whole time.
I think you might be the most animated person that listens to the music. You know, some people they be listening like, yeah, I did that, but you was like, hey, I'm having fun. Like
that's a fun song. I just can't sit still and not sing along.
It's like you were listening to another artist, even though it was you. Yeah, like, that's what it felt like. That's which is interesting. You talk about bop, because I feel like it has this New Orleans. I think I heard something in there, and I forgot the little thing, but you hear it in a lot of New Orleans songs. It's like that pop, 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 and then it's like that. I forgot what actual sound that is, but I heard it in there. But talk about bop though.
Funny enough, I actually have family from New Orleans. Okay. My dad's side of the family is from New Orleans. Dope. Yeah, shout out New Orleans. But yeah, I love that song. Shout out DJ Kens. He produced the track. He actually came to me with the beat one day, and he had an idea with he had 4 bars already written. And I was just like, okay. And then I was just like, I could do it. And he wanted me to actually originally feature with another artist. She was another female artist but she rapped. And I was just like, you want me to feature with it? Because I'm like, I don't hear another person on it, but I'll talk to them and see if they want to be on it. I was just like, no, this is a nice beat, but no, I'm not sure. They weren't really sure of the vibe. And I'm like, I feel you. And so I was just like, let me just have the song, bro. And then so I had reworked some of the lyrics that he had, and then I wrote the song, and he was like, True, this is it. So
that is it. I can tell.
I wasn't gonna put it out at first, but then
really?
And then I ended up finishing the song, and because I just had the beginning of the song, then I ended up finishing it in 2021. Yeah, I finished the song in 2021, and then he was like, True, are you gonna put it out? I was like, I don't know. Finally put it out, and I'm glad I did.
What was the hesitancy?
It was a lot going on, and I think that I was just trying to find. It just wasn't the right time. And that's how I felt. I felt like it wasn't the right time for me to put any music out. I have so much music that is not out right now that I've recorded over the past 3 years. And I just was like, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling the moment to put anything out. I didn't even want to put Tequila out. My friends pressured me to do it. And I was just like, no. But I'm glad I ended up doing it, because the past 2 years, everybody's just been playing the mess out of it. So
that's dope. So is After the Tequila a follow-up from Tequila?
Yes.
Oh, okay, it is.
So,
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a follow-up. You might as well.
Yep, let's go. Let's go ahead and go to Tequila. It's After the Tequila. Here go Tequila.
And now we sipping on casa. Wanna teach me how to salsa. I adjust my body posture. Turn up the heat, now we're getting too close. Kissing and touching and taking our clothes.
What tequila is that?
Casamigos. I said it. We sipping on casa. That was a
Casamigos can do that.
Yes, it will. Get you in trouble.
That's another fun one.
I gotta start drinking casa then.
It's dangerous.
Know that. Oh, you're trying to be black owned, deli owned, and ain't doing nothing. They make people want to fight. So that ain't the vibe I want. So how did tequila come about?
Funny story. So the first half of the song actually came about in LA. I was at a writing camp and I was writing songs for potentially to pitch to artists, industry artists, right? And this was like day 2, and the producer, shout out Specific, he played me this, and I was like, yes. And then I told him to switch up something. I can't remember what I told him to switch up, but I was like, yes. And I was like, I this is the one I'm going to work on. He was like, you like this? And it was called Tequila, but it was called Tequila like to kill ya. It was weird. It was a weird way he spelled it. I was like, yeah, this is the one. And I'm like just vibing and I'm writing, and like the hook came up. Like, quieres que yo papi. But since I was a little rusty on my Spanish, I was like, let me make sure I ain't saying nothing wrong. So I looked it up to make sure I was right. And then I was like, okay. And then I just, finished the hook. And I think that it was when I recorded it, the engineer was like, was you just watching the Super Bowl? Because at the time, the Super Bowl was playing, but it was muted. And Jennifer Lopez and Shakira was playing. And fun fact, I'm a very diverse listener. So growing up, Shakira was one of my favorite artists. Just because like she was just, I don't know, she was just amazing at dancing and singing, and she just seemed very genuine, and I just thought her voice was different, so I used to impersonate her all the time. Your little lie.
You got it.
Her, I think her playing kind of helped inspire that a little bit. So even though I couldn't hear her, I just thinking about that. And Jennifer Lopez, I love her more as an artist as an actress more than an artist. But don't tell her I said that.
It's all good. Not like this platform is going to be blasted on,
everywhere.
Everywhere.
It is,
all
though.
Good. If you're listening.
Cool.
Yeah, right. She's like, I thought I was Jenny from the block.
I love her music, but like I loved her as an actress more.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Personally.
And that's fair. That's fair to say. So let's get to the. Oh, go ahead. You got something, David? No. I was saying, let's get to the follow up app. So now you had the Casamigos and clothes is being taken off. What happens after the tequila? Sounds very sad.
Bad decisions.
Doesn't sound like a good. Right, I know. Bad decisions.
Bad decisions. Yeah.
You gotta live with it.
This is why I don't drink Casamigos.
This is why, because it ain't working.
The battle not working, nah. The battle not working. Can you find a stronger ocean that will mask all my true emotions? Cause I'm off the tequila again. I'm out again with my friends, sipping as the room spins, off in the deep and going I. Been running away from the rules.
Can't drink your problems away.
Something stemming from my youth, probably. I must be missing some screws, probably. Feeling I'm misconfused. Wait, think I'm misconstrued. Guess that's what liquor do. That's what that liquor do. Battle not working, nah. The battle not working. Can you find me stronger up the ocean? That will mask all my emotions.
So were there ever going to be a single to this, or did you like say, you know what, tequila was popping? Let me go ahead and talk about what happens after you drink tequila.
Wait, what you mean?
Like, you had tequila, and then this is 2021. Now in 2023, you got this follow up after the tequila. Like, was that ever a thought? Was that ever a process of doing a follow up?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So not like intentional.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
That song, I wrote that song in 2021.
Okay.
So this was like before tequila was even out.
Oh, wow.
I wrote after the tequila. I had found the beat on YouTube, and I was like, ooh. And then I was just like, yeah, the bottle not working, nah. And then I just started like, what was going on? It was,
So you wrote after the tequila first?
No.
Okay. Okay.
No. So before tequila was even released, I wrote after the tequila.
Got it. Okay.
So I had both of these songs sitting in the vault, before I even released tequila. So I finished Tequila in 2021, even though I started it in 2020. Finished Tequila, then like months later, like in the summer, after the Tequila came about. And I think it was kind of just going about. That summer was lit. I ain't gonna lie. It was a lit summer, 2021. And it was just a lot that I was reflecting on. It was a lot that, I was learning about myself, a lot about patterns about myself that I had to that I had to realize that I had to undo and break. And I think that that's what that song initiated for me was realizing that, dang, like, we can get lit all we want, but that's not going to take, the problem is still there. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
like those words kind of just started to come, and it wasn't like I thought it out before writing it. Those words just came out.
Gotcha.
And then I was like, dang, and then recording it, I was like, dang, I'm not even realizing how deep this song really is until putting it on wax and listening back.
Yeah. It goes back to the earlier thing we talked about healing and therapy
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Like it comes through whether you wanted to or not, even if, and hopefully we can play one song off From the Ashes We Rise. But you talk about that. I imagine you put that together in the, the midst of George Floyd and COVID and everything that's going on in 2020. So again, it's a completely different vibe from everything we've heard, but it still goes back to healing and using the music and art as a way to bring healing and togetherness and make us complete. So I definitely see the theme there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of that, From Ashes We Rise. I want to play this song for the culture because it has the MPS beat on it.
Yep.
And we talked about the MPS beat with B Justice.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's play for the culture.
One of my favorite songs.
Hey, DJ Kins. Yeah. Hey, put your hands up. And it ain't tricking if you got it, put your pants up. They ask me where I found this shit and I'm like, damn.
This is Mo City, right?
No, this is Jay Lamo.
Watch the way I move and I groove, I'm so random. She like me because I'm from Milwaukee and I'm handsome. Where they call you old heads, I say I need a grandson. Jet boys out here lurking, they'll ride you for a ransom. Area call phone fall, well of course. Take a trip down to Capitol Court. Check me out, watch me hit them with the stolly. All day I'm on damn right, the one and only. Shawty cool, hit my line if we hanging and she wanted me to bang. It was twang entertaining. Ghetto nigga represent the Midwest. Beating on the locker like it's MPS. Hey, I'ma ad-lib that. I'ma ad-lib that hoe.
This verse definitely about to slide.
Beating on the locker like it's
Shooting through the city, now they got our shit on lockdown. Hopefully don't offend me, I can't wait for to stop now. Yeah, we see the seasons in the summer with the top down, but please give me the reason why y'all play the who a cop now. I'm tripping like my people off the one way. M's on me like gunplay. Realest off the east, and that's regardless of what some say. Trying to catch a slip and say you'll slide up on us someday, and then we send your ass up to the Lord like it's a Sunday.
No Siri, not Burley.
You should shoot, make you hit the snooze early. Niggas off the trays that make them plays up off the flip. And my sister off one out, she was a demon off the rip. Really mean that she'll smack you like she Sherman and you him. Turn up a little more, I bang the city, what up, camp? I got niggas off the north, I feel like I'm on my block.
And if you skating to the lake, you better hope you don't get damn wet, you nigga.
Yeah, I was tripping when I was listening to this one coming off of our last episode with B Justice talking about the MPS beat. I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
funny.
it had to be there.
Yeah, it had to.
Yeah.
And I'm like that rounded out the project. And for those of you all listening, you look at the project, it's like riots on Sherman. You had the Sherman riots in 2016, I think it was.
16.
Where things got burned down. And I was actually in Connecticut those 6 months. So I wasn't in the city when that happened. But I came back afterwards. But like riots on Sherman. I see on here. I see you got Genesis on here. Shout out to Genesis Renji, House of Renji celebrating their 10-year. Emmett James a headliner this year. So it was Bronzeville. So it was like very Milwaukee through and through. And so to round it out with that MPS beat, it was only right.
Yes, and funny thing is, I strongly wanted a Milwaukee producer to produce it. However, the producer that I reached out to didn't respond in time.
Oh, yikes.
My homie Darrell Rideout, he was supposed to produce it, but he didn't respond back in time. So, but DJ Kins really did his thing, but he's not from Milwaukee. So I had to teach him the Milwaukee beat.
Really?
Yes, I had to teach him, and I told him how I wanted it to sound. Like we had, like it was like a whole course that we had to go through. Like I was like,
Wow.
look up this. So I had to like real life, like tell him about the Milwaukee culture,
Wow.
and tell him about what banging was and what like I show him videos. Like you
Wow.
I had to really like
That's
put him
crazy.
in the vibe of 2010.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like you back when people had them baggy pants and it was,
Yep.
you know, dance wars and stuff like that. I had to show him those videos
crazy.
so he can get the vibe of what we're talking about. And
Where's he
then
from?
He's from Illinois.
Illinois. Okay. All right, sister.
Right
Yeah, yeah.
Not too far. Not too
Yeah.
far.
But yeah, so
Yeah, they gonna come
when he
good.
made the beat, I was just like, okay, he understood the assignment. He really did.
Yeah. No, that's dope that you mentioned Darrell because B Justice was talking about Darrell too. That's the same
Yeah.
person, right?
He's amazing. Yeah,
and
he's
I know he
pretty
was saying he's
cool.
working with Business Boy now, out in LA. I think it was.
Yep,
But,
yep.
Yeah, him and B Justice created some special moments together. So I definitely want to hear what you all have done too. That's hard.
Yeah.
How did Lit get a part of? Because I see Lit is Leaders Igniting Transformation. How did they get a part of this project?
They actually funded it.
Really?
So
Okay.
you know how I said Marquise Mays?
Yeah.
He was a part of the program too.
Mm-hmm.
So we collaborated with our projects. My project originally was going to be a documentary, and I wanted, because I always wanted to have a documentary about Milwaukee or, you know, about anything or whatever, and I produced the soundtrack. So I was like, this is the perfect thing. I had a whole visual for it. Come to find out, so my mentor, who was like helping me manage my project, she was just like, it sounds like you got 2 projects here. And I was just like, you're right. And so she was like, well, your medium is music. I think that you should make the Milwaukee soundtrack. I think that's a really good idea. I was like, okay. And then come to find out, when we started to share our ideas, because we would have like team meetups and stuff. So when we started to share our ideas, I found out Marquise Mays was making a film about Milwaukee. So I hit him up. I was like, hey, you need a soundtrack?
Right.
And so
right.
he, I sent him the project, and he sent me a clip of like the trailer, and we both basically instantaneously agreed like of like 3 different songs that he would choose, but I knew Perspective would have been one of them. And so when he said it was between that song and a few other songs, but he ended up going with Perspective, I was like, that was the perfect choice. And then he had it in the credits, and I was just like, oh my God, it was perfect.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was perfect how it played out. But yeah, they sponsored that project.
Nice.
That's dope.
Shout
Shout
Yeah.
out to them for sure. And shout out to Jay Lamo too. I don't know why I did not hear. That's his
Mo
voice.
City is on the
Yeah,
track.
He's on the track, and I'm like, why did Jay Lamo's my guy? Like I should know his voice. But yeah, that's my dude. That's my guy. Like,
It happens.
yeah, I'm like, why? Like that's him. I can hear it. I can hear him talking right now. So no, that's my guy though. Yeah, we've actually I saw him like a couple months ago for like a bachelor party. Yeah, for a bachelor party, and he's already in town. But yeah, he was there, and I'm like, when you dropping more music, bro?
I asked him the same thing.
You asked him the same thing? Okay, good, because I'm not the only one. I'm like, bro, when you dropping more music? I got some stuff for you. Like, let's go, man. I want to collaborate with you. You know, my Riverside brethren. You know what I'm saying? So
went to Riverside?
yeah, he went to Riverside. Absolutely, he did.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
That's what's up.
Chill out. Chill out.
So I don't see nobody else in Milwaukee High School Arts on this. We rise.
Oh my God.
So these Tigers rising.
Oh my God.
The Milwaukee high school beef is real. If you don't know.
I don't know
It's
why.
so weird.
Like so childish. Bro. It's so fun though.
It's one of those things,
fun.
man. I think it happens anywhere you go. Like, I grew up in a
Yeah.
town that we so small. We just had one high school, so
They had one
it
high
just wouldn't
school?
be- Like our beef
Ah.
was like between cities. It's like, no, you from Ocilla, no, whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
nonetheless.
feel like this is more dangerous. They'll be coming through Ocilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, like if you get outside of South Georgia, it's like, yeah, but no, hey, that's Ocilla. That's still 229. What y'all talking about, you know? So it's kind of like you know,
Right.
you go to your schools, like you had the Greeks have their beefs among each other.
Yeah.
But you go to a different school, it's like, hey, we Miles College, you know, like forget all that stuff. So yeah, it's the same thing,
That's
man.
dope.
Everybody, it's what we do. Healthy
Yeah.
competition is all right. It's all right.
Competition.
Hey, so that was
part of
Vibe
NPS.
Talk, man. So make sure y'all check
Yeah.
out Tru West's projects. Gift of Gab Volume 2, From the Ashes We Rise. Bop ain't on none of them. It's a single. Check that out too. Tequila After the Kill. Those all singles too, actually. But nonetheless, check her out. Dope. And make sure you get your tickets to Share the Vibes Fest, July 22nd. It's going down at Miramar Theater, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tru West will be in the building, bringing the vibes that day, and I'm looking forward to it. So excited about that. What are you looking forward to with Share the Vibes coming up?
Man, honestly, I honestly don't know what to expect. Like, I know I looked at the itinerary. I've never been to anything like that. So I'm really just excited to see what that's all about. And I'm shocked that I didn't hear about it last year, because I would have just at least came to attend. I love technology. I love learning about technology. So it's going to be nice to see what those panels are going to be about. Yeah, I'm just excited to see other people perform and see, like, absorb information, be in the room. Yeah.
When you perform, like, do you have a live band? How do you set up your live performances?
I definitely prefer live band. I still am, like, waiting around for my own band. So usually I just reach out to different musicians and have them come, and we just do rehearsals and stuff like that. I do anticipate on having a live band for the performance. So definitely it's gonna be fun.
That's dope. You got a name for them already? I might have one for you. True in the Triads.
True in the Triads.
True in the Triads.
True Religion.
Maybe. True Religion.
True Religion. I did come up with this, like, little half-ass name. I was preparing for a live performance, and it was True in the Crew. But
True in the Crew. True in the Crew.
True in the Crew.
True in the Crew.
True in the Crew.
It's
True in the Crew.
Wheels turning.
Now, True in the Crew.
Yeah.
Coming to the stage. True in the Crew.
Yeah.
That might be the name of it.
True in the Triads. I like True better. Yeah, I like True in the Crew.
That might be the name of the episode. True in the Crew.
True in the Crew. In the crew. We the crew. You true, we the crew.
True in the crew. Well,
True vibes.
I know we've been here getting close to time, but before we leave, just one other thing. I want to let you plug your other business. So she says she creates in all essence of the word, and that includes edible arrangements. No, I was not saying it the wrong way, but she does create culinary art as well. So
yes.
True
Treats,
Eats, right?
True's Treats.
True's Treats. I knew it wasn't True Eats, and I knew it wasn't True Snacks. I'm like, I'm missing the word.
Yes.
True's
Treats and Vegan Eats.
True's Treats
This
and
right
Vegan
here,
Eats.
people.
Yes.
Vegan Eats.
So she brought some
Yes.
cookies to the studio today. Shout out to Ambition Center, MKE, by the way, Marcel. We see you, my brother. But she brought some cookies today, and my 1J has been enjoying those thoroughly.
Thoroughly. Yeah, man.
I was unaware that one member would be virtual.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
It worked out for you.
All good.
How can people get into True's Treats?
So currently right now, all I have is an Instagram. So that's True, TRUS, Trues _treats, TREATS, on Instagram. And I will be having an online website for it soon, so you can, like, place orders online and things like that. I make more than cookies. I make vegan wraps, burgers. I meal prep, salads, granola bars, like healthy protein granola bars, and smoothies, everything. Just, it's all about wellness from within. So everything that I season and cook with definitely it has healing intention and love in it. So you taste it in every bite.
Made with tender love and care.
Yes.
Tender love.
Well, anything else you want to share with the audience before we leave, True? How can people connect with you and stay engaged with you?
Yes, you can definitely connect with me on Instagram at official Tru, TRU West. I'm on all streaming platforms. You definitely will be hearing some more music coming soon. I have a single coming very soon, so be looking out for that. And I also have some bodies of work coming out soon, so definitely be just tap in, because if you don't know me now, you'll know me soon.
Hey.
True.
And the crew.
Yes.
Crew.
Well, thank you for coming through. Make sure y'all click the links in the description to check out her music, check out her social media, engage with her. 1J, any last thoughts from you?
Man, once again, it's always a great episode. Make sure you go ahead and get your tickets for Share the Vibes Fest
Yes.
Number 2,
Yer.
and like I said before, part of our marketing strategy is making you feel bad about not coming to the first one. So if you didn't come to the first one, shame on you. True. I'm just playing, but
Shame on Tru.
but truly, she will be here at the Share the Vibes Fest too. So make sure you come get your tickets. Make sure you go to sharethevibes.com. Is it sharethevibesllc.com
Yep,
or
Share the Vibes
sharethevibes.com?
LLC. ShareTheVibesLLC.com
Share the
/STV Fest. We made it simple for you.
Yes, made it super simple. Go grab your tickets. Make sure you come. The event is going to be great. It's at the legendary Miramar Theater. Make sure you go ahead there. If anybody is from Milwaukee that's been to the Miramar Theater, you know how beautiful that theater is. So, and it's in true East Side form. It's right there by Riverside. So just make sure you go ahead and come to the Miramar Theater and come to Share the Vibes and definitely enjoy. We got so many great things. So pull up, get your ticket, then pull up. But if you want to pull up and get your ticket, you can do that too. But we want you to get your ticket first. But yeah, for sure. Man, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a vibe. Mwanje will be leading our technology workshop this year, amplifying your brand through podcasting. So make sure you tap into that. It's going to be a vibe.
It's going to be a vibe. It's going to be great.
True vibes.
Absolutely.
True vibes.
Well, hey, everyone. Thank you for listening. Once again, go to sharethevibesllc.com /STV Fest. Get your tickets for Share the Vibes Fest today. Do it now. Don't put it off. Don't put off to tomorrow what you could do today. Hallelujah. Go get your tickets. Pull up. It's going to be a vibe. Hey, we're rocking these episodes, letting you meet the artists who are going to be performing this year. We mentioned Great Genius. Our episode is already out. We got Be Justice just dropped. They just dropped that episode. So if you haven't listened to it already, make sure you go do that. Emma James is out as well. We got more to come, so it's gonna be a vibe. I'm glad to have you here. Make sure you click those links in the description so you can engage with us across all of our platforms, our podcast, our live radio show on AMP, IG, Facebook, all that good stuff. Tap in. As always, I appreciate you listening. Once again, I am Jink the DJ, founder and CEO of Share the Vibes LLC. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, keep sharing the vibes. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.